I thank Mr. Onanga Anyanga for his briefing. I now give the floor to Her Excellency Ms. Fatima Kyari Mohammed. You have the floor.
Merci beaucoup, Madame la Présidente.
Thank you, Madam President.
Opportunity to address you today, and congratulations on assuming the presidency of the Council for the month of October. I'd like to also thank SRSG Parfait Onanga Oyanga for his briefing, and also look forward to the briefing by ASG Martha Pobe, both of whom my colleagues and I work very closely and regularly. Madam President, members of this esteemed Council, over the years, the African Union and the United Nations have forged a strong and dynamic partnership focused on promoting peace and security in Africa. As you've just heard, this collaboration is based on understanding that global and regional organizations must unite to address Africa's key priorities, leveraging its growing potential in economic growth, innovation, and youthful population that highlights the continent's human capital and offers significant opportunities for development and prosperity. The collaboration between the two institutions is founded on the principle of complementarity, recognizing that no single entity can fully tackle current and future security challenges alone. In this framework, the AU utilizes its capacity, expertise, and proximity to prevent and resolve conflicts while depending on the UN's political legitimacy, experience, and support to achieve its peace and security goals. Consequently, as the partnership between the AU and the UN continues to grow, we also look forward to the AU Peace and Security Council and the UN Security Council upcoming 18th Annual Joint Consultative Meeting and the 9th Informal Joint Seminar, along with the 7th AU-PSC UN Peacebuilding Commission meeting in the coming days. The frequent interactions between the President of the UN Security Council and the Chair of the AU-PSC is aimed at better aligning the goals and efforts of both councils. And in this regard, the AU is also eager to implement the joint working methods between the two councils, which will facilitate the harmonization of efforts and improve coordination to tackle peace and security challenges across Africa. Madam President, since the joint UN-AU framework for enhanced partnership in peace and security was signed in April 2017 by the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres and AU Commission Chairperson Moussa Faki Mohammed, the AU Commissioner for PAPS and the USGs for Political and Peace-Building Affairs, Peace Operations and Operational Support have maintained their collaboration through the AU-UN Joint Task Force on Peace and Security Challenges in Africa. Additionally, our technical teams have continued to strengthen AU-UN desk-to-desk and joint technical-level working group engagements, fostering sustained policy dialogue, horizon scanning, and clustered meetings for conflict prevention, management, and resolution. The chairperson of the AU Commission is also looking forward to welcoming the UN Secretary General for the 8th Annual Conference between the two institutions in the coming days. This event will review the progress made in our cooperation on peace, security, and development, while highlighting the achievements of AU Agenda 2063 and Agenda 2030. Given the evolving security landscape in Africa and instances where UN peacekeeping may not be suitable, it is also critical to recognize that AU-led peace support operations, including enforcement actions, contribute to both regional and global peace and security efforts. In this context, the effective implementation of Council Resolution 2719 is a top priority for both the chairperson of the Commission and the UN Secretary General. This framework provides an opportunity to build on the previous collaborative efforts between the institutions, and we look forward to discussions on this in the coming weeks. As our institutions continue to develop the modalities for fully operationalizing UN Security Council 2719 resolution, we should utilize the complementarity benefits of the General Assembly Resolution 78257 on investing in prevention and peace building. This will ensure that while enforcing peace and stabilizing conflict situations, we also focus on building the capacity of member states to sustain peace. In this context, the Council and the PBC should identify countries where 2719 can serve as the financing framework for peace-building efforts, thereby enhancing national capacity to consolidate the achievements of AU-led peace support operations. Additionally, strengthen cooperation between the AU PCRD Center, based in Cairo, and the UN Peacebuilding Support Office is essential for implementing the AU-UN MOU on peacebuilding. The 2025 review of the peacebuilding architecture offers a valuable opportunity for enhanced collaboration in executing the revised AU PCRD policy. In addition, the AU-UN Joint Framework on Human Rights, signed by the chairperson of the AU Commission and the UN Secretary-General in November 2023, also underscores the shared commitment of both organizations to promoting and protecting human rights in Africa. The framework explicitly highlights the need to promote women's full and equal participation in political, economic, and social life, and recognizes the critical role of young people in promoting peace, development, and human rights, and calls for their meaningful participation in decision-making processes at all levels. Addressing the inequalities faced by women and youth through targeted interventions and programs are critical factors towards addressing root causes of conflict. This also builds on our collaborative efforts to enhance the AU Human Rights Compliance Framework for peace support operations in partnership with the European Union. The increased involvement of the current A3 Plus members as co-pen holders on key resolutions is also critical. The African Union anticipates practical steps, including the initiation of text-based intergovernmental negotiations to prioritize Africa in the reform of the UN Security Council, as outlined in the Eswelini Consensus and CERT Declaration. This is also in line with the Pact of the Future, which was recently adopted by the heads of states of governments at the 79th session of the General Assembly. Madam President, with our partnership, our partnership is undoubtedly strong and effective, but it, however, requires concerted multilateral efforts and flexibility to further enhance our ability to fulfill our mandates for continental and international peace and security. Only through enhanced joint efforts can both councils and institutions effectively address the current peace and security priorities in Africa and indeed globally. So as I conclude, permit me to emphasize that there are a number of key areas where increased collective efforts are required, such as redoubling our efforts in addressing the conflicts in Sudan and the Eastern DRC while managing rising tensions between neighboring countries in some regions and consolidating gains in Mozambique and Somalia. Combating the spread of violent extremism, including peace, development, and humanitarian efforts in the Sahel, the Lake Chad Basin, and West Africa. And tackling the ongoing threat of piracy in the Gulf of Aden, managing prolonged political transitions in some AU member states, and promoting civil-military relations. And finally, taking urgent actions to support countries facing dual challenges of climate change and conflict, building the necessary resilience to effectively respond to climate-related security threats. Madam President, the time has come for our two institutions to take bold, coordinated action to achieve our critical shared objectives in Africa. Strengthening cooperation and collaboration, particularly on the ground, is necessary and must be prioritized. Delaying or failing to address the pressing need to prevent, manage, and resolve the continent's ongoing tensions and conflicts will only exacerbate the threats to broader global peace and security. We must therefore seize this opportunity to recommit and harness the full potential of both councils and our respective institutions, drawing on our collective strength, experience, and resilience to create a lasting foundation for peace and stability, one that fosters not only development and economic growth in Africa, but also contributes to a more secure and prosperous world. The responsibility we carry is immense, and the stakes are too high for hesitation. I thank you for your attention.